This is a Hot Pie Media original.
I don't know how many people, I don't know what the numbers are like for last night's Monday Night Football game. Probably not very good. I found it so freakishly entertaining. I cannot believe what I watched. But let me give you the stat line. You don't have to be a football nerd to appreciate this. From last night's game. The New England Patriots threw the ball 3 times. Their quarterback finished the night 2 for 3 for 19 yards. New England did not attempt a single pass until their 4th possession of the game. They didn't attempt another pass. Remember, they threw 3. They didn't attempt another pass until the 4th quarter. They won. I mean, just try to comprehend that. They won by attempting 3 passes. They won with 19 yards in total passing offense. It's the fewest passes attempted in a game since 1974. Oddly enough, that game was also played in Buffalo. New England went to Buffalo last night. Okay? The fewest passes attempted, that was a game in 1974. The Buffalo Bills beat the New York Jets 16-12. They tried 3 passes, didn't complete any, and won. They won because 1974, Buffalo, come on. Huh? Who do you think? Hot Pie Media's own O.J. Simpson carried the ball 31 times. 31 times for 117 yards. Yeah, Juice. Truly. Love you, Juice. Good to see you in the hallway today. It was hilarious. This is the first possession of the game. It's a 3-and-out for the New England Patriots. They didn't attempt to pass in the first series. This is the 4th down play of the very first series of the game.
Second punt for Bailey. Snap is perfect. Bailey gets it away. Wow. And the effects of the night into the Patriots bench. And you thought Buffalo had good field position the last time around. That's a 15-yard second punt for Bailey.
It was a 15-yard punt. And the funny thing is, he hit it well. The camera couldn't follow it. The camera couldn't follow it because the camera was trying to follow the trajectory of the ball. The ball left his foot like a normal punt and then blew straight into the stands because the wind was 55 miles per hour. It was freakishly entertaining. And I watched the Manning cast. That's the Manning brothers, and they are freakishly entertaining. I know. Somebody's saying, well, how in the world could 3 passes in a game be entertaining? It's because the wind's blowing 55 miles an hour. And it was brilliant. I'm looking at the headline. I did it first thing this morning. The Wall Street Journal. With just 3 passes and a win, Bill Belichick paints a masterpiece. It was a game that revealed the continued brilliance of the all-time great coach. Absolutely. First of all, he looked just like you would think. Like he dug a hoodie out of the dumpster outside of the stadium. It looked like it had some food on it, some drool. It's like he really does look like he's under a bridge. But it's not just that they won by throwing 3 passes. Peyton Manning said, he had this to say during the Manning cast, "This is the most classic Bill Belichick game I've ever seen." And it was remarkable. It was remarkable to watch. I mean, the one pass that they did complete, the ball's in the air, and it was an unbelievable catch because you can't follow the ball because it's blowing so badly. This guy, it looks like it's going one way and it blows, and he catches it one-handed. That was their first completion. And they didn't try the pass until the fourth quarter. They were 2 of 3 for 19 yards and won the game. That's because they are shockingly good on defense and shockingly good at run blocking. Everybody knew. I mean, it was like a scrum. They did these I hate to nerd out on these tight splits. It looked like something out of like a 1920s game. Everybody's kind of piled in there together. There were 10 men on the line of scrimmage on defense. And guess what? They still shoved them around and won the game. It was, here's why people are saying today, what a brilliant performance. It's not because they only threw 3 passes. That's not it. It's because when I watched that game, first of all, nobody knows who those guys are. They are unbelievably good on defense. I mean, this isn't Tom Brady. They're unbelievably good on defense. That's a really good Buffalo team that is playing for their life. The Patriots went on the road in 55-mile-per-hour winds. Their quarterback is a rookie from Alabama. He said he's never even seen snow. And they shoved around the Bills in a game where everybody, I mean, they could just say, you know what we're doing right now again? We're going to run the ball right there. Here. Stop it. Good luck to you. And they couldn't. It is the reason why Belichick is getting so much praise. Here's a team, an organization, post Tom Brady, post Rob Gronkowski, post everything. They're reinvented in a year, and they are now again going to get the top seed in the AFC. John McClellan is the co-founder and creator of ATX Hot Sauce in all 50 states, now in several retail outlets as well. So we're going to turn it over to the social media rock chef superstar, and we're going to walk through a few sauces and why you should buy. We've done beet heat, so we're second in line now for the tasting. Don't forget, everyone, go to atxhotsauce.com. So here we go.
All right, so this one is our smoked habanero 5-pepper. We smoke habaneros with ancho, pasilla.
Is that going to hurt?
This one? No,
Yeah.
This one's actually really, really good.
Okay.
This is like your traditional tapatilla, but without the vinegar in it, right? And because of that fermentation process that we've talked about all the time. This one is great on sandwiches, pizzas, things like that. Great on hot wings. I think you're going to really like this one too, especially the smoky flavor with the adobe chipotle and the smoked habaneros. We actually smoked the habaneros before we.
Does that go with the cab?
This would not go with the cab. This would go with the great Chenin Blanc, though.
I knew you were gonna. I teed you up with that one.
Yeah, yeah.
That is good.
That's good. Isn't that good? It's just classic take. Well, it's a new take on a classic item. It's called smoked habanero 5-pepper.
All right, don't forget
One of my
ATX.
favorites.
Don't forget atxhotsauce.com. They got control of the AFC, and that is an entire organization that had to reinvent itself in a year and a half, and look where they are. The Cowboys can't win a playoff game for decades, and these guys in a year and a half go find a bunch of dudes that no one's ever heard of, and they are the top seed. And then they did it playing like that. That's why the football world is in awe today. Is, oh my gosh, you had no business being this good again, and you're this good again. And you've done it in these freakishly bizarre ways. It's, if you didn't think that guy who looks like, I mean, it is, I don't know what's more entertaining, the game itself or looking at him freezing on the sidelines when he can't find any clothes. I mean, I don't know what the wind chill was. But the poor guy, I say poor guy, you just think, he can't buy a down jacket. Like somebody doesn't go, you know what, buddy, here's a jacket. Here's a jacket. His nose is frozen. No one even knows what he's saying. And yet there's not a sports media football person alive today that isn't saying, wow. No one's denying Tom Brady is the best to play the position ever. There is no denying that's the best coach ever. No denying it. I mean, that is this kind of turnaround, this kind of position, this kind of performance, and to have the guts to play that way. I can't imagine what the meeting was like before that game. You know what we're not going to do today? We're not throwing the ball ever. You mean ever? Yeah, ever. Ever. Well, Coach, you can't win that way. Yeah, we are. It was masterful. I mean, there was no way you couldn't. They didn't go for two. They didn't kick extra points because you couldn't make an extra point. The ball would blow sideways. I mean, the first punt taught everyone. I remember, I'm the only nerd that is just enjoying this like crazy because it's just fascinating. The ball goes up in the air and just makes a do-right turn to be blown out of bounds. The opening kickoff landed in the stands. It was downwind. It went all the way up into the stadium. The guy kicked it like 85 yards because it's a 55-mile-per-hour wind. Now, you can't control the direction of the ball, but God knows it'll fly a long way. Punts were going, I think if you punted with the wind, I think they averaged like 75 yards a punt. It was awful in a brilliant kind of way. It was maddening and fascinating, and I just laugh at the story. There will never be that scoreline. Will never happen again. You will never have a 3 passing attempts, 2 completions game. New England went, I believe, 4 possessions without even attempting a pass. So that's why if you just even look at the front of the Wall Street Journal today, there's a long story about, are you kidding? I mean, are you kidding? When the New England Patriots and Buffalo Bills played on Monday night, the game was bound to be ugly. The wind was projected to gust at least 50 miles per hour. The wind chill was in the 20s. There was snow. These grim conditions elicited a tour de force from the most successful coach of all time. To counteract the wind, the Patriots threw the ball 3 times. No team had thrown fewer passes in a game since 1974. The Patriots clinched a 14-10 win while bucking nearly a half-century of football history. Bill Belichick did something even crazier. He smiled. He was all happy. It was the first time anyone's ever seen him jump up and down. He liked that game. I think he channeled like some kind of Newt Rockney thing back in the 20s. He was jumping up and down at the end of that game as if they had won the Super Bowl because the mad scientist thing worked. It was so fascinating to watch him. Usually he just sort of grunts and drools on himself and walks off the field. He's jumping up and down, hugging people on the sidelines. That's how much he enjoyed that bizarre game. I actually think he thinks football should go back to the 1920s. I wouldn't tell anyone to go back and watch it. I doubt if many of you ever even spent more than 5 minutes watching the game, but it was really pretty remarkable. And I thought the broadcast team did a very nice job. I think those guys are good. It's too analytical for most people, I know. But I found myself thinking I'd rather watch this than the 60-58 game. How weird is that? And the funny thing is, not only do I think Bill Belichick enjoyed that more than a 60-58 game, I think that's the way he thinks it ought to work. And I think he's probably right.
From the Hot Pie Media Studios in Austin, Texas, it's the Jeff Ward Show. Listen at jeffwardshow.com.